On yesterday's Collider Movie Talk, we reported that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has just landed a director for his upcoming Rampage film. Today, we get to report that The Rock has a new director for yet another one of his upcoming films, Baywatch. According to a report in Variety, Horrible Bosses and King of Kong director Seth Gordon will helm the new remake of the David Hasselhoff television series. Dwayne Johnson tweeted the following last year when he first announced his attachment to the project. "This is my beach, bitch. Rumors are true. We're making hashtag Baywatch the movie. Edgy, raunchy, and hopefully funny as all hell. Cue slow-mo running on the beach. Hashtag who needs mouth to mouth. Hashtag red shorts be hugging a brother." John, buy or sell Seth Gordon directing The Rock in a Baywatch movie?
I buy this. And here's why I buy this. There's a couple of small points first. Number one, I really like Seth Gordon. I'm a big fan, more than most people, of the original Horrible Bosses. And my goodness, folks, if you have not seen King of Kong, it is one of the most fascinating documentaries I've seen in the last 15 years over such an unimportant, tiny subject. And yet he finds a way as a storyteller to totally make you feel like it's life and death. And this is global, socio-political changing landscapes kind of stuff. It's amazing what he did with that. The other thing, this is the main thing that makes me excited about it. From the tweet that The Rock put out, they are clearly not making a movie version of the television series. It sounds raunchy, comedy, blah, blah. They are going to go just balls to the wall ridiculous on this.
Literally.
Literally. And we were talking about before, and it's like, this sounds more like, I cannot remember the name of them. There was a bunch of porn parodies of Baywatch went out there, but that became huge across the globe. But this sounds more like a parody of that than it does of the actual TV show. And if they go totally ridiculous, you got a personality like The Rock in there. They embrace the nonsense of it. Seth Gordon directing it. And I saw what he did with Horrible Bosses. I'll give him a pass on Horrible Bosses too. Then this could be really awful, or it could be really kind of good. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for good, so for now I'm going to buy it. Clark, what about you?
Oh, I buy it. Oh, I buy it all
really?
the way.
That shocks me. I'm so excited
really?
to buy this.
Oh,
yes.
Listen, I love The Rock. I love The Rock. I will watch The Rock do, again, like we've mentioned earlier today with Chris Pratt, I will watch The Rock read the phone book. So, and The Rock is funny. He is so funny. And so I love the idea of him in a Baywatch. In fact, and this is going to sound really silly, but I'm not making this up. Last week, I thought to myself, hey, what's going on with that Baywatch remake? Is that actually happening? I swear to you. And I thought to myself, if only Miller and Lord were available. But if they
how good would that be?
I mean, how good would it be, right? But if I understand they got to do that Han Solo thing, but
right.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is if they can, with this production, embrace that energy or try and replicate what 21 Jump Street did, say, for instance, and just have fun with it and make a broad, fun, funny comedy on this ridiculous premise, then I think we have a big winner. And again, if The Rock is in it, I'm on board.
Christian.
Yeah, I'd buy it. When I was reading,
I thought I was going to be the only one to buy this.
No
I
way,
swear I did.
And it's the same reason for both you taking points of Clark's, taking points of yours. Is the Seth Gordon I'm a big fan of, even though definitely don't like Horrible Bosses 2. And 1 I thought was okay, but I loved what he did with Kings of Kong. And I think when you work with someone like The Rock, like Clark was saying, who just is a natural. He's a natural, and he's got that comedic gene. We talked about him on Saturday Night Live.
He's so great on Saturday
Every time
Night
he's on, he
Live.
crushes it. And it was the tweet that won me over because I'm like, well, okay, yeah, all right, I can see.
The tweet is key.
It's when it is because it's the details. Because when you initially see Baywatch, you're like, oh, come on, what? Oh, that's what you're going to do with it. Okay, well then there are certain shows that when they take, there was one point when Jim Carrey was going to do The $1 Million Man, and they were going to turn it into a goofy, silly comedy, and that ultimately didn't work, and they scrapped the whole thing. I was glad they scrapped it because I didn't want to see that particular show turned into a spoofy comedy, and A-Team, they kind of mixed it in the middle. This is one of those remakes that is calling for a spoof version of it and a silly, raunchy version of it. And with The Rock in there, yes, a raunchy comedy, because it's also, I think a week ago, we talked about how he changes his game every time he goes out there.
Yeah,
he'll do something like Snitch, and then he'll do something like Pain and Gain, and then then he does the Rampage, and now he's doing a spoof comedy. He's making all the right moves in his career. He's not stuck in the Tooth Fairy land anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, huge buy for me. I want to watch him do this type of movie. I want to see what Seth Gordon can do with this, and I want to see what that collaboration's like. So yeah, it's a huge buy.
You know, a lot of people talk about The Rock on Saturday Night Live, and a lot of people's favorite skits of his is The Rock Obama, which is good. But my all-time favorite.
Can I guess?
Take a guess.
Mr. Peepers.
No.
Oh, really?
No,
So good.
but I think it might have been his first appearance on Saturday Night Live. Maybe it was the second. But the Nicotrell skit. I don't know if you remember. For those who haven't seen the Nicotrell skit, it's like a fake commercial for a products, because you know the products to help you stop smoking are big. And it's this husband and wife going, man, I'm just having a hard time quit smoking. Don't worry, honey, I got you Nicotrell. What's Nicotrell? And then The Rock breaks through the wall. I'm Nicotrell. And basically he kicks the crap out of you if you ever start to smoke.
Did he rip the guy's arms off?
Yes, something ridiculous. It is so ludicrous.
But his opening monologue too, I remember the one where he sang and danced and crushed it. And I she should just do anything.
Franchise Viagra.
Yes, franchise
Viagra. Don't get me started on that. I coined franchise Viagra.
You really did. I remember that
You
day.
were on that, and then like 4 weeks later, he's on Saturday Night Live and says, I'm franchise Viagra. And I got all these people tweeting me, John, The Rock just said he's franchise Viagra. I'm like, damn you, Rock.
Saturday Night Live stole a bit? What?
Stole a bit for movie talk.